9 a.m. kebab? Nah. No. I always wake up when I've had a kebab. If I see any kebab the next morning, I look at it in a sort of a, why did I eat that? Off to Marybelle and Three Valleys if there's any snow left. I would have thought it was all melted by now. Oh dear, that turned. Trying to get a nice photo. Your days of clubbing are well gone. Do you know what? Even when I was at the age of going clubbing, I never really liked going clubbing. I only went because my friends went, but I never really enjoyed it. It was just ridiculously loud. I couldn't have a conversation with anybody. I think I entirely missed the point. Oh well, if you get some skiing in, good job. Oh, 9 AM pizza's absolutely fine. Hot or cold, no problem. Yeah, it's all different now, Langeveld. It's just like bring up an app and, you know, you don't even need to bother going club and save yourself a few bob. And let's face it, like, whenever you go nightclubbing, you always get grief off bouncers anyway. It's just, like, they're just, ugh. In the northeast, you had a famous boat nightclub, which was on a tilt with a rotating dance floor. Oof. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. An Ulster fry the next morning. Oh yeah. A good English breakfast will sort you out. You never got grief from bouncers? One refused entry to... One wouldn't let me into a nightclub because they said I was wearing jeans. And I wasn't wearing jeans. Oh, actually, was it the jeans or was the shirt? They were saying that was it. I had a blue cotton shirt and the bouncer was telling me it was made from jean material and they wouldn't let me in. Because they had a policy with no jeans, and I kept saying to him, look at the label, it says cotton on it. It's jeans, mate, you're not coming in. Literally wouldn't let me in. Whoa, do you know what an indicator looks like? That was that woman from the other day. Well, they had a policy that you can't wear jeans in the nightclub. But I was wearing blue cotton shirt that looked like jean material, but it wasn't. You got in once with a cricket shirt because it had a collar. Well, I think the nightclub owner fancied himself as like running a high-class nightclub. Hence the, you know, I'm going to separate myself from all the other nightclubs. I'm going to ban jeans so everybody has to turn up like with shirts and trousers and we're going to make it posh. What a load of nonsense. It was still one of the roughest nightclubs in St. Helens. The best one I ever went to, oh, Lowe's and Applebee's, good grief. It was Lowe's. It was Lowe's nightclub. Is the one it was. Closed down now. Lowe's in St. Helens. The best one I ever went to was in Manchester called Butterflies. Which I later found out was apparently the most haunted building in Britain, or one of. There's like a female ghost that walks down the corridor at night. A lot of rubbish. But anyway, it was a great nightclub. It was separate on 3 floors, and then it had a bar floor as well. So you could like go up to the nightclub and each floor played different kinds of music. And then when you had enough of the music, you can go to the floor with the bar and it was nice and quiet. So it was great. Really, really cool. No, it was called Butterflies, I think. Oh, I remember that program, Pringle. Judi Dench. Not Judi Dench, what was it? What was the woman's name in that program? Began with a P, was it Penelope or something? Barney's in Blackpool. Wendy Craig, that was it. Wendy Craig. Once you woke up and your front door was floating in the swimming pool. Okay. You used to like a Pringle. I only ever went clubbing in Blackpool once, didn't like it. My friend got absolutely and utterly smashed on Special Brew before he even got there. And then when he got there, carried on drinking and was so drunk they turfed him out the nightclub. And I didn't know this because he wasn't with me at the time. And my other friend knew about it and just was like, yeah, tough break. And so my best friend was walking around Blackpool, we didn't know where he was, completely and utterly hammered, and then just before the coach was about to leave, he suddenly turned up, covered in sand. Like, where have you been? And it was like, no idea. He had no recollection. We all think he went to the beach and just fell asleep, and then at 2:30 AM just staggered back to the coach. It was just the weirdest experience. I was just concerned for his well-being. My other friend didn't care. So yeah, I don't think he ever touched Special Brew ever again. He drank 4 cans of Special Brew on the way up and was absolutely plastered. He commandeered some tricycles after a night out once. Managed to get into dual carriageway. That's a good night. He could have been robbed, like, you know. He wouldn't have had any clue. If some guys had just jumped him and took his wallet, he wouldn't have had a clue what was going on. Kamikaze Pug, welcome back. Best Step, welcome back. Blue Trunks, welcome back. I don't know if Special Brew's still a thing. It was like export strength beer, like ridiculous. White Lightning, dunno. Dreers, it's a mod called Hemel's Route Advisor. It's in the mod spreadsheet. Yeah, Blackpool... When I was a kid, Blackpool is very different to what it is now. Very different. To 12% beer in Holland. That's pretty strong, man. Lord Dole of the Shire has made an appearance. Let's get on the straight bit. And there. Right. Let's see. Alright, darling. Give me a sec. I have to, like, do things here. without knocking the camera. Oh, come on, pal. Arr. Up you get. I'll put your feet on the wheel. There you go. You rest yourself on the wheel.
That's cute.
Doesn't he look cute?
Yeah, but nobody can see it.
Can't see it, but his feet are actually on the wheel. It's awesome.
Where's your phone?
His mildly moist self. A little bit, yeah.
Where's your phone?
It's over there. Yeah, but if I reach it, it won't be on it anymore. Scene's broken. Why is that scene completely broken? It's on the wrong scene. Hang on. Oh, I'll fix it later. It's broken. Wow, that is broken. What the heck, man? That's some dog chewing ASMR. It's right next to Mike. He's right next to the mic. It sounds so good. Yeah, that's me. I've probably broken the scene somehow. I'll put the wrong image in or something. Thank you, Connor. Are we getting a cup of tea, Mrs. Squirrel?
We are.
Also, has Mrs. Squirrel heard the cake soundbite? If she hasn't, I'd be happy to send a delivery with that soundbite.
I haven't heard that.
All right, give me a sec, Connor. Right, thank you for the ASMR, Doyle. We all appreciated that. Say bye-bye. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Adieu. Right. Get ready, Connor. Right. Put that on. And then Connor will send it in.
I'm ready.
Right, Connor. She's waiting.
Want some cake?
Yep. So, I'm constantly getting, cup of tea, do you want some cake?
Do you want a cup of tea and some cake?
I don't want cake, I'll have a cup of tea. A cup of tea and some fresh juice would be wonderful. Thank you. Notice we had a three-floor club in Harrogate called Jimmy's. It had 3 different coloured classic minis stood vertically in the middle of the staircase to all floors. Spent New Year's Eve 2k there, as it was £40 ticket with a free bar all night. Tickets were £160. Yikes! 160 quid? Yowzers! Thing is, it's like when they have an all-inclusive bar, they never have the like proper branded drinks. It's the same as if when you go on holiday, if you get like an all-inclusive place, the drinks that they include aren't like the branded stuff, they're always extra. So it's always like some cheap vodka and some cheap wine and, you know. I never hit that car, you can't prove it. I'm trying to get a nice photo and the sun is just constantly behind us. I have a video. Fight me. Mrs. Squirrel should have 50% of the income from those 2 soundbites. You say like she doesn't get most of the money anyway. I never said that, alright? The tickets were cheap on New Year's Eve as no one bought any at 160 quid. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So you paid 40 and got in. Yeah, it's a PCAB Scania. Polska.
Want some cake?
No, I don't want any cake. Whiteland, thank you. Huh? Can't hear you. Yeah, you take it away. No, you don't, Bob. The missus takes the income and Paul gets pocket money. Sounds about right. Uh-oh. Somebody's giggling at house fart. Oh dear. £5 a week pocket money. Do you know, I don't know why I bother indicating, because the AI just doesn't care anyway. Math, welcome back. Come on, car. Don't move, I'll show you what momentum is. Thanks. £5 was a good amount of pocket money nowadays. If a kid gets £10, it's not enough. I think it depends how far back you go. Have I got any ideas for April Fool's Day? Do you know, I generally don't bother with April Fool's Day. £10 is nothing when chocolate bars are 55p. Wait, how many chocolate bars do you need? April Fool's is every day. Huh? No, technically April Fool is April the 1st before midday, right? The problem is, we now live in, like, an international world. Like, properly international. So it's very hard to play April Fools with anybody before 12 o'clock when you're dealing with people all around the world, because they're looking at the clock going, but it's only 7 AM. Or, like, it's 5 PM for me. What are you talking about? Oh, Freddos. Freddos are the best. Freddos is, like, the best chocolate. You made your best friend call the ambulance on April Fools. Don't do that. Just Don't do that. You remember when they were 17 pence and they're now 25? Oh man. Just go down to Macro and buy a box of them. It's a lot cheaper. A big box of Freddos is just the best. Luke, thank you for gifting a sub to Josh Tie-High. Welcome, Josh. Thank you very much, Luke. No, well, I've said it before. Wagon wheels are not wagon wheels. Everything is smaller and more expensive now. Well, apparently, legit, Rob, the fire brigade firefighters get a lot of fake calls, and they even get situations where people set fire to something deliberately, get the fire brigade to come, and then start like throwing stones at them and calling them names and stuff, and try and stop them putting the fire out. There's some very messed up people out there. These are the same people that if they ever find themselves like in a car accident, they'll be the same people cutting them out of it. You know, it's just disgusting. Welcome back, Pepsi Fever. I can't get my head around it either. I just simply don't understand it, Jensen's. Why would you hinder or hate people who are trying to help others like that? It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I've watched plenty of these TV documentaries about the emergency services, and they all say the same thing. We get like abuse, and we get people with fake calls who call us to deliberately so they can stone the van. It's unbelievable. Baz, for some different sound bites again. Back in the days when one of our nightclubs had a square party a few times, meaning everything you ordered you would get in square. So you ordered 6 cocktails, paid 6 cocktails, but got 36. What? I thought you meant like if you ordered a pizza, it arrived as a square. What? Did you only have to pay for 6, or did you have to pay for 36, Baz? Let me relocate my tea. Ow, 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 ow. Mrs. Squirrel's patented molten tea. You pay for 6, but you got 36. That's just nuts. How can they afford that? Mark644, welcome back. The other day I read about the police in London. I believe they got calls from people telling them they're out of toilet roll. Well, that's obviously just a prank call, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't... Elle Phillips, I don't know what she does. I don't know how she can make tea so hot. SH66 Lars, thank you very much for 400 bits. Appreciate the support, thank you. Maybe we get a photo here. That is one nice looking Scania. Pringle, that is a really old one. It's like a Tommy Cooper gag, that one, Pringle. The old ones are the best. You know what they say, Pringle? The old ones are the oldest. Is the G27 dead? Nope. It has been retired. Donkey. Since I can't buy them anymore in working order, it has been retired to the Squirrel Museum, otherwise known as my shed. Yeah, mine's still going too, Peterbilt. But it could have been, you know, it might have gone on for another 5 years, or it might have broken tomorrow. Who knows? You should have it sit behind you in full view. What, the G27 back there? They're actually quite big though, that's the problem. Yeah, G29s are fine because if it goes wrong, you can get it fixed and you can get another one. You can't do that with the G27. They won't fix it. It's out of warranty and out of production. In fact, once they stopped selling it, if you had a G27, it went wrong, you sent it in, they would send your G29 back. Thanks. Wait, what? Am I still working on my airport documentary? Dr. Thriller. The only one I ever did was Heathrow last year. And that's been on YouTube for a while. Baltic Transline. Can you help me when I start ETS? It's a black screen.
Oh, yeah.
Turn your monitor on. Six-pack, thank you for 1,000 bits. Keep up the good work. Enjoy the satisfactory videos. Are you going to do any more Skylines? Of course I will do more Skylines. Six-pack. Of course I will. Thank you very much for the biddies, Six-pack. If you've got a problem with ETS, have a look in the log file. See if you can see any info about what's going on. Your stream chat has died. Well, the on-screen one's still going, so try refreshing your page. Yours died too. Interesting. Twitch is being twitchy. On-screen one's fine. You're good. thought you'd been banned. Lol. Honestly, I think when things go wrong on Twitch, it's almost always a Sunday. It's hilarious. And I do wonder, is that because they often have big tournaments, big esport tournaments on a Sunday? Like the finals and stuff will be on a Sunday. Is there a relationship there? Or is it because most of the technicians are not actually around because it's Sunday, they're at home? What gear shifter do I use? Thrustmaster T500. I like it because it's an 8-shift gated shifter with no moving parts in it, like no switches. It's all done by magnetism. It's really nice. But this is an Almar SKRS on top. Thank you, Reese. Watching you on web chat is fine. Using the desktop version of your PC is not working. And you're nodding. What made me choose that setup of the G29 sim lane? Well, I did a review of the G29 and this and that, and just talked through like what were the best wheel setups, and I ended up choosing this because I like the force feedback and I like that shifter. The G29 shifter is just utterly pants. So you could take a G29 wheel and put it with that shifter if your preference is the G29 wheel, but when you actually drive a 29 wheel next to this particular wheel, which admittedly is more expensive, its force feedback is just a lot nicer. But it's more expensive. So if you're on a budget, a G920 or a G29 wheel is the better choice because it's less expensive than this. But the G29 shifter is just rubbish. So you're better off with that if you can get one, which is USB and isn't dependent on any wheel, so you can use this with any wheel setup. Going this way? We're going this way. You go from like 80 k's down a slope instantly to stop junction. It's crazy. What's wrong with the shifter for the 920, Tom? What's good about it? Let me turn it on its head. What's good about it? There's a sat-nav on the screen you can see, can't you? Oh, it's behind my screen, I guess. What do you want that? personally don't mind it, but it's your first shift it's on. So you've got nothing to compare it against. It's very small. It's made of cheap plastic components. It doesn't have quality switches on it. If you want to use it for trucking, it's like tiny little stub shifter, and if you put an armor on top, it's just, whoa. I don't know what to say. If you want to drive manually, then it's better than none, which is what I said in the video, but it really is like the basic of basic shifters. And it's hardwired into the G29, so you can't use it on a different wheel. Usually just single player Viper. Should I replace my G27 shifter with the one you're using? If your G27 is fine, I would say just stick with it. Because this is not cheap. Well, it is in the UK, Connor, Mothering Sunday next week. This is the third one, Elite Frontline. Started tonight. But this is like a 1300k journey. I think most people don't take this one because it's so far. Clocks go forward next week. Yep. Sunday at 2 AM on Mothering Sunday in the UK. That's when they go forward. It's my turn. I was too busy reading chat. Hang on. Let's see how disastrous that is. Wait a minute. If I go this way, it's 712k. If I turn around and go that way, it's 850k. So I'm better off carrying on this way, aren't I? It's actually shorter. How does that work? Because you're backtracking. Dude, look how far I'm backtracking. Is it gonna make me gonna? Is it because it's gonna count that distance in as well? So if I turn around and do it, all right. So it's counting that twice. Oh God. Ay 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 ay. Let's get to this rest stop, and then deal with it. This is a more scenic road anyway. Oh, yeah. There's one for the photo album to lag OBS with. Woo! Alex Spice, welcome back. Oh, we put an invisible box there because we didn't think anybody would drop though. Nobody will drive here, we'll be fine with the bounding box though. Josh Gearing, thank you for 7. So how far does it reckon it is now then? 512, that's better. Gonna have to get some fuel soon though. It's our 1% damage on the trailer now. Yay. Thursday 21:23, ETA 4:45. When does the job have to be though? 16 hours, so we'll take a sleep then. Whenever we can find a rest stop. You're right there, CSJ. Seems to be working. I love the URLs that Twitch generates for those clips. Real courteous magpie pupper. What? Yeah, don't do that, Connor. House fart. Yeah, Connor, it's an external contract, so we're absolutely fine. Loads of time, mate. Loads of time. I'm surprised if not, like, built out the whole World of Trucks job market, like, way more than they have done. It's been going for a couple of years now. Gowser, thank you for 29 months. Isn't April the time they announce big game changes? Nah. They don't really have a set routine. Well, the routine they do have is there'll always be a map DLC type drop before Christmas. Like, that's almost guaranteed. Towards the end of November. And then there'll be like some Christmas DLC usually. Maybe some flags or skins or whatever. But as for everything else, it's pretty much whenever they've finished it, it gets released. But with the World of Trucks side of things, and the external contracts, and you know, all that stuff, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what the plans are. I don't know what they want to do with it. Like, they talk about virtual truck companies and things like this, but I don't see it happening. Don't know, Mark. It's a fuel station down here. Maybe we can sleep. Get the same mission in the external contracts. That's pretty tricky. You'd have to sit there and refresh until the same one comes. Well, D-Casper, I would argue that all contracts will be better external. Unless you're doing a contract that is using a modded trailer, why would you not want it to be recorded against your World of Trucks account? What do I think of Google Stadia? Hasn't this been done before, Sixpack? Maybe not by somebody as big as Google, but was it on Now Gaming or something? Where you stream games? That's been going a couple of years. Like, once the internet is fast enough, then it'll be totally feasible. I don't know. Renting computer power is not a new thing. Just doing it for gaming is what we're talking about. It's funny though how we've gone full circle. Like, back in the 60s, that's the only way people could get computing time was to pay for it. Like, because you couldn't afford the machines that big. And now it's going full circle. Like, people will no longer own a computer, they'll just pay for processing time. It's bizarre. I can't really understand though how you could be a competitive gamer and like how are you going to get like 144 frame rates with Google Stadia? How are you going to draw a 1080 image 144 times a second over a network? That's going to have to be a stonkingly good network. Yeah, but I mean, you talk about like 5G and stuff. You know what network connections are like? Like, they're not, like, they kind of ebb and flow depending on the other traffic. You need like rock solid stability. You know, if you lose a few packets in it of a game network, that's one thing. But when you're talking about sending the entire frame over there 144 times a second, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm saying that's years away. And even, you know, don't forget, it's like if you build a bigger highway, what happens is more traffic ends up using it, and then just look at all the highways in California, right? They build these 6-lane highways and then they fill up. So they build an 8-lane highway and then they fill up. And they always tend to get really congested around rush hour periods. If your entire like game depends on you having a super fast connection, well, inevitably, it doesn't matter how quick the network is, traffic will fill it up. And then at rush hour, you'll suddenly find that your game's lagging. It's just inevitable. I'm quite happy to have a PC in my house. Let me put it that way. I think this whole Google Stadia thing is aimed at people, like, I don't know, console gamers, maybe, who want to get a PC over the network. Something like that. Don't know what it means to console owners, actually. Maybe there'll be no need for a real console. Ben GT, have a good night. Rip Sony and Microsoft. They'll get into it. They'll throw money at the problem, buy out the companies doing it. Like, they'll come up with their own technology, they always do. In the same way that, like, Steam grew, and then everybody went, oh boy, that's popular. What does EA do? We'll make Origin. What does Ubisoft do? We'll make Uplay. If Stadia turns out to be a success, Microsoft, Sony, they'll all have their own version of it. Stadia trial was unbelievably stable. It doesn't make sense how they're doing it, but it works. Over what network, Delamari? What network were they doing this on? Were they doing it on a public network? Were they over the internet? Like, how was it working? Did they have a machine at the other end dedicated to drawing frames just for them, or was that machine being used by 100 other people? Like, it's easy to make a demo where everything's in a controlled environment and it all works. But you release that onto the internet, you know, and you're at home, and you're gaming at home, and your sister starts watching Netflix on the internet connection that you need 100 frames a second for, and suddenly you start getting frame lags and stuff. It's just, in a laboratory environment, things can work fine. Via a VPN, right? So it was tunneling over its own network, probably. Where? Down the road? Across the city? Was it going to, like, from West Coast to East Coast states? Like, what was it doing? Yeah, your brother fires up Stadia as well, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. What happens if, like, more than one person in your house has the same thing? What if your mate comes round and he wants to game with you on a Saturday night and you both fire up Stadia? Oof. It's like these EVs, and they claim they've got a 300-mile range. They don't have a 300-mile range at all. Like, even the best journalists get 250. The best. And if you take it to a cold country, it's like 200. It's just like ideal numbers. Your wife only uses the internet for Facebook. That's only for farming as well, Pringle. At your house we have 5 gamers that all play online. Can you imagine that, Echolos? Show a demo of a 4-person split MP where every view on its own server. Okay. Is that... would you consider that to be a real test? Or just a demo? When you was at your friend's house and you had a gigabit connection, it was flawless, but for most people don't have that connection. Well, it's always the case, like, you might... It's like I was saying before. Between you and your home and the Google Stadia servers, right? There's a whole lot of steps, yeah, that you can't control in terms of networking. Now, it's only going to be as fast as the slowest point in that connection. And if you try to play a game for hours with this Stadia thing, it's not going to consistently work unless that network is absolutely A1 for the whole duration. You fire up a game, right? Fire up Counter-Strike, fire up Rainbow Six, look at your ping. Every time you connect to a different game, your ping fluctuates. Sometimes it's like 10 milliseconds, sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's 30, depends. Networks like ebb and flow as they're moving traffic around the network. And that's only like small amounts of data. You start moving video files around, video data. It's a whole different story. We'll see. It's nice that they're demoing stuff of what's possible, but before it's practically usable, I don't know. Whoa. It's like a big Harley or something, bright green. Squirrel's left leg, good night. A lot of codecs on its end pixels are actually changed. Farm Sim and the Hunter 5x trial are nightmares for codecs. Absolute nightmares. Because they contain vast amounts of foliage, and foliage is like the hardest thing to encode because it's so irregular. I only have to look at my recordings after the stream if I play the Hunter or Farm Sim, and they are like 5 times the size of a normal game. Because the encoding is so difficult. In 10 years' time, people will be gaming wirelessly on wireless VR directly connected to the cloud for cloud gaming through 10G. I won't. Most people won't. 50% of the population throw up when they use a VR headset. So half the population's never going to do that. Cloud computing is someone else's computer. I was reading... I was literally reading chat then. Oh boy. That's probably damaged things a bit. Eek. We've damaged the goods. We're gonna get a penalty. I'm curious as to why the speed limit in the toll booth is 70 k's before, 90 k's after. Like 70 k's, you can't even do 40 or 50 through there. I didn't see that one coming because I was looking at chat. Took a dive. I saw that. That's the second motorcyclist today. Should get bonus points. Another one down. Dude, let me over. This road's awfully twisty for 90 k's. At least he leaned over. He actually did. We tapped him and he went, oh. Speed camera hype. Yeah, this is last delivery. We finish at 9. Karma 2019. Signs for Paris. 146 k's. Oh, he's overtaking me now. I see how it is. This guy in the truck in front, he just went right, then left, then right. What is he doing? See if we can get out before him. Bet we can't. But we're gonna try. Mwahaha. Yeah, I know what you're gonna do, pal. Don't worry about that. It's the way they go right, as if they're like, oh, I'm not gonna pull into you, and then they go bang. Like a glove. Should I ETS 2 or ATS? Whatever tickles your fancy. That truck must have turned off. The Thrustmaster shifter is 3 times more expensive than Logitech shifter. Is it really 3 times as good? Yes. This shifter will last you many, many years, and you can use it in any wheel setup. It's solid. You can use it for racing, you can use it for trucking. You can orient it at different angles, you can turn the plate round. It's magnetic. It doesn't have any switches inside of it. It's a pretty good shifter. Tom Sunday's now playing Factorio. And he says, I'm addicted. Nearly got a hat trick. Very nearly got a hat trick then. Oh, that was close. That was so close. I literally didn't see that guy. That motorbike's like an electric bike, just... I have no mass and infinite energy. Fung! I am an electron. Uh-oh. He's just gonna come down the side of me anyway. Uh-oh, rip. Epic Games Launcher doesn't have stalker mode. It doesn't pop up when one of your friends starts a game. I don't think it has an overlay room. That's why. Welcome back, Mark MC. It'd be good to see them get the knee down, wouldn't it, six-pack? Apart from the Harley, that would look ridiculous. I used to laugh when I used to go biking. I used to go to meetups and stuff, and the amount of people on the race bikes, and they had like the whole knee pads, the leather suits and the knee pads, and there's not one scratch on the knee pad, because most of them have never actually put their knee down. They have no clue. They're too frightened to lean a bike over that far anyway. It's hilarious. The Curioso, thank you for 2 months. A full electric van being released. Don't ride a bike. I don't currently own one. I owned one for many years. I've done a lot of biking, but I don't have one now. Is it Nissan? I don't know. He's doing the electric van. Isn't that just basically a milk van? Like milk vans, they've been around since like the 50s and 60s. They've been all electric for decades. People are going on about EVs like it's a new thing. It's Volkswagen with the E-van. Well, let's hope their emissions are good, right? Even Volkswagen can get their emission report correct with an EV van. Emissions 0, and we can prove it. Stay there, pal. the range will be way off. Probably. But then they all are. All of them make claims to the range that are just not true. And all of the ranges basically say, like, conservative driving. In other words, don't put your foot down and enjoy yourself, which is exactly what you're going to do in an electric car. Because electric engines are so much fun. Followed a guy today, all the gear and the no idea, big Ducati, all the kit, looked like a MotoGP rider, rode it like a moped. I've seen it before. I've seen it so, I'm sure you have too. I've seen it so many times. They're great in a straight line. As soon as they come to a corner, they're like, whoa. The exact same drop off every time. It's got a lot of motorbikes on it, Connor. I've got the latest Jazzy Cat packs I downloaded. You know, I think the motorbike pack definitely got updated, but a lot of his packs did. I'm seeing a lot of motorbikes now. It's like, I think probably too many. Another one, that's the third one delivered. Damage report, satisfactory. Oh, good work. Did the motorbike pack got implemented into normal traffic pack? I don't know, Baz. Why is the motorbike pack still available for download? I mean, you might be right. But if you put it in the normal pack, why is the motorbike pack available? One biker per delivery. Lol. Home player. Welcome back. Chippy, honestly, Jazzy Cat is just unbelievable. Like, is Jazzy Cat like one guy? Or is it a team of them? Because the amount of stuff... He's got so many packs that he has to keep updated. It's just shocking. Shocking. That is a nice looking truck. I'd well buy one of these. E500. Right. That brings us to the end of Sunday Night Trucking. Oh, it feels weird finishing at 9. You're finishing early, Squirrel. Well, I've been streaming since 1, so... 1 to 9 is the schedule now. Right, a couple of things. First of all, the convoy. Exclamation mark convoy. If you're a sub, you want to enter the convoy, because they close next week. Second thing is next week's stream's going to be a little bit messed up because I have this charity thing to do. But I will be doing YouTube this week, obviously. And I hope you all have a great week, and I shall be back on Friday. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thank you for your support, as ever. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have fun. You won't be mad or disappointed. Lol. We'll play some other stuff next week. Alright, Yoshi, I'll have a look, mate. But the weather's going to be nice this week, so I don't know, I might book some flying, actually. We shall see. I've got a busy weekend coming up. Oof. Whatever you're doing, have a great week, guys. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you all very soon on Friday. So that's it for another Sunday Night Trucking. The reruns will kick off in about 10 to 15 minutes time, Shower Wolf. I shall schedule them. But they're all on SquirrelPlus. All the Friday, Saturday streams on SquirrelPlus, and this will be on SquirrelPlus tomorrow. Sage TDS, thank you for 4 months. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Love you all. Good night.